Day 374. My adventures led me deeper into the wild unknown. I haven't seen another person in weeks, and I no longer recognize any plants or animals which surround me. I fear that my body will soon be added to the unknown should I not resupply by the cold season. Hey kid, you're gonna have to get out of my garden. The locals appear to be hostile. In my last video, I talked about the warehouse job I had when I was 19. I also mentioned that I try to keep my stories in chronological order. So when I was about 6, I began to venture out of my house and explore the wild world beyond. I lived in an older town and nobody gave a crap, so I was able to wander pretty much anywhere. My first crusade took me out to the nearby elementary school, which I avoided 'cause school sucked, man, and I'm a rebel, clearly. Now, back in the day, some real estate giants went and tore up the cornfield behind my house to build a subdivision. Then the housing market fell harder than the British Empire and it was left as a field with a few cul-de-sacs, some retention ponds, and a giant dirt hill. That hill is important. Remember it, it'll be on the exam. My younger brother and I went exploring to these ponds that dotted the landscape. We named them the White Duck Ponds. We had a pet white duck at the time, and they were the neatest, nicest, most disgusting, foul things you ever did see. They were filled with algae, trash, dead plants. One of them had an entire oven dumped into it. Basically, these were not safe to be swimming in, but they were safe to be sailing in. We got one of those cheap plastic laundry bins and brought 'em out there to set sail on the ponds. We sailed the high seas, found distant lands, and definitely did not capsize almost instantly and sank into that nasty disease-ridden water. Not to worry, though, I don't think I contracted anything from it. After my seafaring expeditions, I resigned myself to just sort of wandering around the neighborhood for a while. That's when I discovered those concrete storm drains that lead through all the ditches and gullies. For the record, you shouldn't climb into storm drains because it's unsafe and you'll get stuck. I'm not you, though, so I did. They weren't all that interesting, to be honest, anyway. Just a bunch of long, dark tunnels. That is, except for the blank room. It was just a small room between two of the tunnels with nothing inside. I literally could not fathom why that room was there or what its purpose could have been. But after some extensive research, I've concluded that one must bring 4 suburban artifacts to that room and unlock a secret boss fight. Then I traveled. From the deepest caverns to the highest summits, I crossed the land. Remember that dirt hill from earlier? Well, in my neighborhood, it was something of a rite of passage to scale this thing. I don't know who the first person to do it was, but I'm writing the history, so it was me. Upon climbing this hill, my brother and I brought our flag, which was just this paper with a symbol on it taped to a stick, and mounted it atop the summit, thusly declaring ourselves as the supreme rulers of the town. That hill is still there, actually, but since that time, the economy has gotten its head out of its ass, and they're actually finishing the subdivision, so they've taken giant chunks out of the side of the hill and turned it into a mini Mount St. Helens of sorts. Here are some pictures I took from the top of it last year. My adventures around the neighborhood would eventually come to a rather disappointing end once I started driving. It was almost as if the world itself had somehow gotten smaller. I guess that just means I'll have to venture into the wider world at some point, but I'm poor and socially reclusive, so it's probably gonna be a while. One of the reasons I don't go off into the blue on mad adventures is because I'm making these videos. I'm not sure what the next one is gonna be, but the shorts are more popular apparently, so it's probably gonna be a few more of those. As soon as I get some more money coming in and I'm able to afford it, I'm gonna invest in an actual microphone so I can make videos that have decent audio quality. Until then, I'll be here being weird.